Good morning, Brock Cherry. Good morning, WAVS listeners. I think everybody has Jamaica and the hurricane on their mind, and I don't know if everybody's focused in the same area because I know that some people are worried about family members. I have family members down there. I haven't spoke to them, but we heard that they're okay, and there's some damage to my grandparents' property, but things are okay in my tiny neck of the woods. However, seeing the devastation from so many other people, it's heartbreaking. It's horrific. My mom was telling me yesterday that she's been watching the videos, and I said, "Why? Why are you watching videos of the trauma? Let us know that people will recover over time. People will put their lives back together, and I have to focus on the long run." Where you focus, Vanya?
Right now, anybody who's involved in the community or even not, it would be hard to say that the hurricane is not on all of our minds and the devastation it has caused. Not that that's the prime focus, but it is a fact that cannot be ignored. And it always takes my attention back to how much planning did these people have in place before the hurricane hit. What was the condition of their homes, how prepared they were. We get notice when a hurricane hits, but what like a week's notice, like if we're lucky, we would know a week ahead of time that, oh yeah, there's a hurricane about to hit. And I can't help but think that how prepared they were or how prepared their homes were. So there's so much to think, and there are so many things to put together to deal with such kind of situations. Planning is so important.
Well, one of the things that I think for a lot of people who I've been, watching is that how comes they knew how bad that situation it was going to be, that there were reporters there before telling, Jamaica and the world that this was going to be the worst hurricane ever. So there's some suspicion and some concerns there around where and what exactly, was the cause of the hurricane. I know people don't want to talk about these things. I actually heard somebody saying that anybody who says that the hurricane was generated is a conspiracy theory and is a ridiculous person. But, I don't think so. I think we have to consider all of the factors in our world today. And more importantly, each of us has to find our way. We need to sit back and say, what does this mean for us? And what you believe is what you're going to experience. And I'm encouraging you, believe in the best, believe in yourself, believe in our ability to recover, on our ability to, maintain the Jamaican culture and the Jamaican way of life, because it's important. The whole world is watching, and for me, I've been inspired. I'm working on a virtual concert for the children all over the world to remember, believe in yourself. Self-love is the greatest love of all. We have to love ourselves. We have to trust ourselves. We have to look within ourselves to find a way forward and not look for somebody to come and save us, because so many times we've been let down by people who have the answers for us, when the only way you're going to know what's right for you is when you look within yourself. And that's why I'm still committed to I be I, you be you. All right, Vanya, this morning, what are you interested in sharing with the audience? How can you help to uplift us to be well, to live well, and to stay well?
Well, I don't know if I can uplift. People have to uplift themselves, but definitely there is so much going on, especially in the light of the recent events with the hurricane. Everybody, all our clients, absolutely have families back home, and a lot of the clients over here, even without the hurricane kind of situation, are finding themselves in a situation where they do have a lot of equity in the house, even though they bought the house just 5 years ago. And those who bought more than 5 years ago, real estate has proved itself to them, given all the speculations and the multiple crashes that happened in last 20 years. And right now, rates being high as is being promoted, which they're not really. real estate has proved itself. There are so many individuals who have beautiful homes with a ton of equity, but they are struggling, just to make the ends meet in their daily life. What can these individuals do? That is going to be a part of the show today. We're going to be talking a lot more about it. There are solutions, practical solutions that we have for you, but when it comes to the emotional attachment to certain things, or a certain way of thinking, there we kind of find ourselves not being able to help you. The only thing I would encourage people to understand is, right now, if you are struggling, right now, if you're finding it difficult to make the ends meet, especially post-COVID, things are not the same, and you have a home with a lot of equity in it, please, let's discuss options before it's too late. Whether it's a reverse mortgage, whether it's a sale of the home, whether it's a gift of equity sale to a family member, all of it can be done before that late hits the credit. Once the late has over 30-day late has hit the credit, the window of opportunities get smaller and smaller.
Absolutely true, Vanya. I want to invite people to wake up. Wake up. It's a Saturday morning. It's 8:15, 8:20. Wake up, guys. You have to recognize things are changing. There are people who have a plan. There are people who have a design, and that if you don't have your plan, you're falling into somebody else's plan. And it's time for you to realize that absolutely you have a plan. If you're sitting in a home with a ton of equity in it and you're saying, well, I'm leaving this for my kids, maybe that's a wake-up call for you to say, is that what your kids really need? That a house you're going to leave for them 10, 15 years from now and that equity? Or is there something you need to do to access that equity now so you can put it to use to help them to create a situation where they're going to be in a better financial situation in the future? I'm not telling you to risk your life savings. I'm telling you to take responsibility for identifying an opportunity. And that while there's a tremendous amount of negativity, I'm telling you, this is where opportunities lie. This is where, in the past, I would be very afraid to talk about this because I would feel like, what are people going to think? I don't really care what people think. I'm telling you that there are opportunities today in the real estate market, opportunities to A, access your equity, but B, reinvest that equity into something, into somebody, into somewhere that's going to make a difference. And you need to know what is important to you. Believe in yourself. Look for opportunities. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, by the way, Brock Cherry, play IBIU for BU, IBIUBU by the Wake Up Boss, Michaelos. Let's get that song out there. And remember, I want to hear, if you're interested in the virtual concert, it's going to be at the National Stadium in Jamaica. I said it's a virtual concert, so there's nobody at the stadium. It's a virtual version of a concert at the stadium. Let me know if you have any interest in it. Send me a text at 954-866-2171. And when we come back, we talk some more.